I'll be excited after. Right now I'm just kind of in the journey and just getting prepared. Hey, study Rick alum.
This is the first fight that you'll be going into as a decided underdog. What difference is there from going into fights where you're the favorite?
You know, I think that other fights that I've been in, people have come to me as if I was the underdog, and I felt that way in many fights before. It doesn't make a difference to me, really, whether I'm the favorite or the underdog. I've been there before, at least in my own mind, or what I've been hearing. So this is just another one of those fights to me. Yeah.
He was saying that people who box against him, and he's faced boxers before, are doing so because they are afraid of him. They don't want to engage with him. Obviously, I'm guessing you would see the style matchup as a different thing strategically.
I don't see it that guys box because they're necessarily afraid. It's just looking at the best chance to win, the best way to win. That's maybe not his forte is boxing. So I think even like a guy like Alvarado, he's not really a boxer either, tried to box because he thought that was going to be an easier route rather than standing in front of him where Ruslan is very adept.
Why did boxing, moving, jabbing become your forte in the sport? And why is it, obvious question, the best strategy for a fighter like Provonikov?
I think I started out my career, my first 6 fights, I had 4 knockouts, and even the 2 guys went the distance, I dropped 2 or 3 times a piece. I didn't jab as much, in the beginning. Coming from kickboxing, you don't jab at all.
No.
So really developing my jab later in my career and just making fights easier. Knockout punchers get hit more. It's like home run hitters. Home run hitters strike out more than regular guys. You got to take those chances to get hit to score those knockouts a lot of times. So I'd rather hit and not be hit. That's the sweet science. And in this fight, I think that's the exact plan. Hit and don't be hit.
Although you could counter it as well. Let me just jump real quick. That knockout artists also have an easier track to getting fans. So there's the financial element of it. Have you felt that it was better decision for you, though, still to box this way? Do you feel that is an obstacle for you reaching fans?
I haven't had a problem building my fan base, especially locally. I just haven't had that much international exposure that way. I don't foresee a problem, building the fan base per se. But in terms of sticking to this being the good plan, I absolutely do, because health over anything. Not taking damage and staying healthy is first and foremost. But I think I can still do what I do and stay healthy.
Win. You said that you developed the jab later on after getting into boxing. How confident are you in it right now? And what do you think of his statement on the conference call recently that test is always how long can somebody keep up the jab against his pressure?
My jab is actually my favorite punch now. It was never, prior, it was always my left hook. That was the punch I always wanted to land, and even in my kickboxing career. But the jab, just the things that it's able to open up and the way it allows me to control the space in the ring and just control fighters in general. So I'm feeling very confident about the jab. We've been working at it. It's getting better and better. And then in terms of keeping it up, that's pretty much what I'm known for, is keeping it up, I'm an endurance guy, fitness guy, and I finished my 10-round fight strong, so I haven't gone 12 yet, but if we need to, we'll be ready for that too.
I can't imagine you faced anybody who can apply that kind of pressure with that strength.
People ask me about, if I fought anyone like Ruslan. I don't think there is anyone like Ruslan per se, and every fight is different, every fighter is different. Another thing I always say is that I don't watch tape, because you can't tell anyone's rhythm, by watching tape. Figure it out in the first round and engage from there. This is a rhythm sport. It's all about rhythm. I've been in with guys who are killer punchers, and you just keep the rhythm offset, and you can have an easy night.
Hey Chris, how surprised were you that you got the call for this fight?
There were talks about it. I know that Taylor, was in the running for it prior to my fight. So, when I beat Taylor, it wasn't that surprising. If he was in there and I beat him, and if everything is just, the guy who wins should get the opportunity.
Sure. And I remember when we spoke a few years ago. You're obviously a very smart guy. You've studied medicine, right? You've So you're very conscious about your health. Have you got that? Does that change maybe the way you fight in there, especially going against like a brutal guy like Provonikov?
I don't think it's going to change me for this fight in particular, but I think it has changed my my style just in general. Like I said, there's life after boxing. So going out there and fighting smart is the way to be and the way to win. If you look at the best fighters in the world, the pound-for-pound guys, they're all smart fighters. Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, those guys aren't in there, banging back and forth, and they've been doing it for a long time and been at the top for a long time.
With all your educational background, what is your life after boxing?
Really everything, the landscape of healthcare is changing right now, so I'm actually in a great spot where I can keep this, professional career going, this boxing career going, while that kind of, works its way out and see where we fall. Ultimately, I think that the journey that I've been on, through my experience as a professional athlete, my dealings with other athletes and coaches and camps, and just my education, I have the opportunity to really help people in health, fitness, and medicine, and health in general. So hopefully my boxing and this notoriety can help me develop that and touch more people, help even as many people as possible.
Chris, I also noticed that you were talking about the differences between boxing and MMA. But you didn't really describe what was it that led you to make the change from one to the other?
I was a kickboxer, different than MMA. I wrestled, but there was no MMA when I was a kid. UFC was not a thing. I never dreamed of being the UFC champion of the world. There was no UFC, so it really was not even an option. There was never a thought in my head where I was like, I'm going to go to the UFC once I'm done with kickboxing. No shot. No way. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a thing. I dreamed of being a boxing champion. I never dreamed of being an MMA champion. There was none of it.
But when you compare, say, kickboxing to boxing, what do you see as the demands of each, and how is it more difficult? It sounds like you feel it's a lot more difficult to be a classic boxer.
Yes, I would say the boxing for one reason that it's more difficult because of the talent pool, because of the money that boxers can make. More guys want to box than kickbox. There's just not that many kickboxers anymore because there's not the money's making millions of dollars. No kickboxer in the world is making millions of dollars. So not that many guys are training kickboxing, and the talent pool isn't as large. You're not going to have the same amount, same degree of talent throughout the world. Also, just even technically based between the two different sports, there's some technical differences in terms of boxing is much faster. 3-minute rounds versus 2-minute rounds. Kicks are slower. You can throw more. I can throw 3-4 punches in the time it takes to throw one single kick. Then there's kick combinations and things like that. It changes the whole pace of the fight. Stance is different. So there are technical things that are similar, and there are things that are very, very different. So it's been a transition for me through my even my professional career. Transitioning from a kickboxer to a boxer.
You don't miss taking leg kicks anymore, though.
Not at all. Yeah. I don't miss kicking people either. Even kicking people hurts. Shins, feet, toes.
Vitaly Klitschko was a kickboxer, and is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
We had the same title actually, the ISKA. He was the super heavyweight champ. I was the welterweight champ.
Really? Do you see things in his game that you can take to go get to that kind of level?
Absolutely. I mean, even just his body type. He's a long, strong guy. He is a long, strong guy as well, and using his jab, and he's a defensive-minded fighter as well. He doesn't take a lot of damage in fights, so definitely he has a more cerebral approach, which I can feel like I'm in line with as well.
Chris, Ruslan just said that if he hadn't found boxing, he'd probably be in jail with death. He comes from a very poor background. So it's obvious where he gets this fire from, right? This passion. This was his way out. I'm not saying you grew up with a silver spoon or anything like that, but you didn't have to go into this. So what is your motivation? Where does your fire come from?
I still don't have to do this. I do this because I love the sport. Boxing is the best sport in the world. Hands down, I will say that to the day I die. This is the best sport in the world, and for me to be able to compete at the highest level, like we are in this situation, it's a dream come true. This is my passion. If I lose passion, I don't fight anymore. That's all. I don't have to do this. It's brought me many wonderful things. It's brought me very many terrible experiences, but in the end of the day, this is a passion of mine, and I feel like I'm blessed to be here.
You know, being from Long Island, I know how much of a close-knit community it is. How disappointing is it that the fights now brought this? I mean, I know it's close, but I know it's not the same thing.
You know, I got that question a lot. It didn't really bother me all that much. You know, the Nassau Coliseum thing, I was excited because of the history behind it. There hasn't been a fight there, I think, 18, 19 years or something like that. So that would have been a big deal. But other than that, the Barclays is a beautiful arena. It's gorgeous. You know, it's probably the best venue in the New York area. You know,
it's definitely much nicer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
When you look at Provonikov's background, though, I mean, you know, he comes from a culture where toughness is paramount, and you know, like you said, you're doing this because you want to, not maybe coming out of that street culture. So, you know, how do you try to match the toughness that you're going to see from him and fighters in that culture?
My toughness comes from my blood. I've got an Italian father and an Argentinian mother. It's two very, very tough cultures. You know, so my mother was born in Argentina. She moved here when she was about 13 years old. And anyone who's met my mother, she's tough. You know, my father is 100% Italian. So I've got two, and everyone knows Italian fighters and Italian athletes. They're tough guys. So I think just because I grew up on Long Island doesn't mean I'm not tough.
Chris, along with Ruslan's power, there's a perception that he more or less breaks guys' will down. How do you prepare differently for a guy like that, knowing that based on the question they asked before that it's different, he's cut from a different cloth?
I don't, because I think every fighter I've fought, especially recently, their plan was to break my will, to keep me from doing what I do. Taylor, you know, they said that toward the end of the fight, they don't get me early, they're going to beat me down as we go. Peralta, we're going to put pressure, and he's going to run out of gas, and we're going to get him. You know, that's everyone's game plan. Everyone's game plan is to get inside, push me, break me down, eventually run me over. So that's what I'm used to dealing with, you know. And it's another, for me in my mind, it's another fight like that, you know, where a guy's going to come, he's going to bring it, and you know, the preparations that we've had in the past have been working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and just.
You speak about the pressure, Chris, from Peralta and Taylor. You face pressure with Maidana and Rio, sparring with them a number of rounds.
Yeah.
Can you speak to this group a little bit about how that would prepare you for this type of fight?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, they're both killer punchers, especially Maidana. But I worked a lot of rounds with those guys, and they don't stop coming forward ever. You know, and Maidana is a fight. Every round with him sparring is a fight. You know, it's not, you're not in there, you know, playing patty cakes or boxing. He's looking to knock you out. You know, he hits you with a shot, his eyes turn into dinner plates, and he's trying to finish you off in sparring every time. So being able to be with a guy like that, especially where he's gone recently, you know, since I've worked with him, is a big confidence boost.
What else do you want people to know?
Chris, when you look at this fight from the outside, you know, from a business perspective, you know, obviously, you know, there's a chance that Provonikov, if he won, might get Pacquiao down the road. You know, you don't have that quite that level of experience yet. I mean, do you look at yourself as a spoiler, or do you sense, you know, what you're up against in terms of how they're trying to maneuver him to Pacquiao?
I'm not too concerned about what's going on afterwards. Even, you know, for myself, I'm worried about right here. I'm definitely not concerned about what's going on in his career afterwards. But in terms of getting a big fight past the fight, he can lose this fight and still get a big fight. I can go out there and win, and he can go get a big fight. You know, and I can get a big fight or not get a big fight. Doesn't, you know?
Certainly, if he wins, it should be a major fight.
You know, he's that kind of guy where he can take a loss and still, you know, get out there and get a big fight.
It's a place where you can kick down the door of opportunity, so to speak.
That's why we're here.
Raises the question of how do you need to win to get that big fight?
You know, that always matters. You know, it's not just about getting the W, but that's all really I'm concerned about right now. I'm not trying to tell the future or trying to set up everything. I'm worried about right now. You know, June 14th is it. going out there, getting the W, and bringing the title home. Everything else is, the future.
Thank you very much.
Had trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue anything, and I've heard all those things, I think that's why a lot of insiders, and other people are starting to realize that this is a real fight, because they look past the numbers, they look past, the glamorized Ruslan Provonikov, and they kind of see those things, and they look at the stuff that I've been doing kind of under the radar, and it makes for a compelling matchup.
When did you spar with Maidana?
We just figured this out, Bernie. It
was before Maidana fought Jose Lopez. Jose Lopez, June 5th, 2012. I'm pretty sure we sparred with him late April 2012, early May 2013. I'm sorry?
Before Lopez, 2013.
And before Lopez.
It was before Jose Lopez, and I was in camp for Jose Lopez and Soto Carras.
And how competitive did you feel you were with him, or do you have to kind of hold back because he's the guy?
No, there's not really any holding back, especially when you're sparring with him. I went out there and I boxed. Him, and that's what Robert wanted me to do with him anyway. But really, I'm not gonna spar with a killer puncher like that any other way but my own style. I'm going out there to do what I do and get better at my craft. As and he's trying to figure my style out and try and get me. But we did a lot of rounds, 30, 40, 50, I don't know, I was there for a couple camps.
What do you take away from that? What do you learn as far as moving your game to that level?
I belong with the best in the world. That's what I learned from that. So my confidence has been riding high since then, and still is. He look what he's done since then. He just gave Mayweather the best fight of Mayweather's career. That's a huge accomplishment. And I think he deserves a rematch. He should get it in September. It should be Maidana Mayweather 2 in September.
If you win this fight, what kind of opponents do you see out there that you'd like to fight? Without looking past, there's still, I'm sure you think about it though.
I think because it just throws me in the mix with all the big guys. If you're a world champion and you're fighting on high level fights like this in HBO, it's like right in the mix. This is the most exciting division in boxing. These are the biggest names. These are the best guys. The future is very bright with the win.
Some guys, even a good loss,